Hi guys, so welcome back to my Legion of Shadow walkthrough. Hopefully this time my camera's a little bit less wonky. Crikey, if you knew how amateurish my setup is right now, with this balanced on 4 books, that is balanced on a monitor stand. Don't worry, I will become more professional, I promise. Okay, so we are continuing our journey through Act 1. So at the start of this section, we are at 5 speed, 8 brawn, 2 magic, 3 armor, and I had 41 gold. Abilities wise, we've got pound, lightning, we've got acid, first cut, and charm. So not too bad. So first on the kill list is a legendary bear, and that is Mauler at entry 18. So this is a pretty tough fight if he wins a round, because he has the ferocity ability, so that if he wins a combat round, and deals damage, he raises his speed to 7, so giving him a +2 speed advantage, which can rapidly spiral into a lot of lost combat rounds for us. Some of you may have webbed from the web-coated jerkin from the Down the Well quest. I would suggest keeping webbed to use when that triggers, to reduce his speed dice. We've also got Mercia's Brandy 2, which you might want to use. I was expecting to need to use it, but I didn't. For the rest of us that don't have webbed, we do have charm on our... Yeah, we have charm, yeah. His health isn't that great. It's only 30. And we do hit really hard, averaging about 11, 12 damage a hit. He does have decent armor though, but we are likely to get through about 6 or 7 damage a round. And we've got lightning as well. So yeah, good luck with the fight. See you on the other side. Okay, so for me, I did it on my first attempt. I had a cool end to the fight, because on my last round I lost, and he absolutely walloped me, getting me down to 1 health. But then the beautiful, coup de grace, the lightning retaliation triggered, and he was on 2 health, so it killed him. So it was a pretty epic and cool finale to the fight. But the point is, it was pretty down to the wire. But I didn't use pound. I needed to use my charm, which helped me to win a round I would have lost due to his ferocity mode. I didn't use any consumables in my fight, so it's very, very doable. I thought I'd need to use Mercia's Brandy, as I said before, but I didn't need it. I'd probably have used it if the combat had moved on to another round. If you are unlucky in this fight, just give it another go. You should, with what we've got, we have everything we need to take him down. So, reward-wise, yes, the left hand weapon, Rage Claw, is super nice. If we were building a rogue, then maybe it would be tempting. But we want speed, and so we are going to be going with Mauler's Maw. For our head slot, it gives us +1 speed. It also gives us a pretty awesome ability called Fearless, which is a speed ability, although to be honest, I think it should really be a modifier ability, and it probably would be a modifier ability if this ability was in June Sea or Wrath, but anyway, that's fine. Anyway, it raises our speed by 2, which is super great. So we are slinging off the Simple Quaff, and we are gaining Mauler's Maw. So pretty good. So we should be at Speed 6, Brawn 7, Magic 2, Armor 3 right now. So now we're going to be doing the Black Book Red Quest, which is entry 111. And we're going to be heading into Tythebury Church. So basically, with our build at the moment, we are completely ahead of the game now with speed. And we're after another point of speed in this quest, which we'll be getting. And we'll also be swapping out our main hand and left hand weapons during this quest. And for those of us that didn't get the cool webbed chest piece, then we will be getting a alternative chest piece with heal. So there's loads of loot here for us to grab. So let's go for it. So at the start of the quest, we meet Fetch, a strange individual, it's fair to say. At the time I wrote Legion of Shadow, I hadn't massively planned for him to become such a major character. Certainly, I had no idea he'd become so pivotal to Raiders of Dune Sea and Wrath of Ragnarok. Otherwise, I'd have written a much better introduction for him. But hey, it is what it is. But certainly, he is an intriguing character with many secrets. So at the start, we haven't done the Witch Hunt quest yet. So we progress to 249. So progress his dialogue, accept the quest, head into the graveyard. We fight the Shadow, which is like no problem for us whatsoever. So steamroll over that. The rewards are absolute total garbage for us because they're all mage, I believe. It's an Orb of Shadow, is it? Going from memory. Skip, move on. We head into the church. And then we face the first of the amended combats, which were that I tweaked for the Italian edition. Patch notes, as I've mentioned many times, will be in the description below. So the ghoul health is actually reduced now. It's actually an easier combat. It is now 20 and it used to be 25. Okay, so these ghouls, they're horrible little buggers because they have the piercing ability. Not that we actually have much armor anyway, but they do hit hard. Things can get out of hand quite quickly, but thankfully, we are a speed point higher, so we have the advantage. So I had no problem with the fight at all. Then we have some story choices of where to progress to next. We're going to go for the Holy Font, where we fight the next load of ghouls, but we fight them as a single enemy, which makes it slightly easier. But more importantly, we have the benefit of the Holy Water buffing our damage. So again, we shouldn't have any problems with that fight. And then afterwards, we're told we can take any or any of the rewards, basically. The ghoul hair is not worth it. Similar to the spider's leg in that it is a component that we can use in Act 2 for a potion. Unfortunately, we're so pressed for backpack space that it doesn't make sense to take it, unfortunately. But the one thing that we definitely are going to be taking is the Ghoul Claw for our left hand, which has the same stats as our previous item, but it's giving us piercing. Piercing. I can't even believe that I gave piercing to warriors. It's crazy. So don't worry that we are losing first cut, because we are going to get it back in literally about 30 seconds. And we really do want piercing. In fact, we pretty much want to keep piercing on our hero in a slot somewhere, because that is just so powerful to be able to completely negate armor. It's just too good. So anyway, we continue onwards. Beyond the painted screen, we open the door using the scroll of opening. Head down the stairs, then open the chest. There's nothing scary in it. It's not a treasure mimic. Sorry, spoiler warning. It's not a treasure mimic waiting to rip your limbs off. It is, in fact, our next upgrade. So we're going to take the Mason's gloves. Yes, so don't be too shocked by this. There is logic to the madness of losing our lovely gauntlets. We get first cut back. We're losing a brawn and we're losing an armour, but we get to 7 speed. We also lose acid as well, which is a shame, but I think you have to remember that at the moment we're very much like a rogue in that not much is going to be touching us or landing any hits on us to damage us, so remember that. So I think the rest of the options there are potions. If you have any empty backpack space, fill up. I would always suggest taking the brawn over the heal, in my opinion. Okay, so moving on, we make basically a complete mockery of the rest of this quest and this act, basically. So skeleton guards are next. They have a speed of 4. We're 7. We obliterate them. We have a +3 speed advantage. I didn't lose a round in the combat. Also, remember we have Fearless as well, which increases our speed by 2 in 1 round. We also have Pound as well. And bear in mind that the minus speed disadvantage that we get from that is kind of negligible now because we are ahead of the speed curve. Right, rewards, absolute garbage, so we move on. Then we have a lovely... uninspiring narrative choice. Left or right? Great choice, Michael. Great writing. So based on no information whatsoever to inform our choice, but because I know what's coming up, I'm going to tell you to go left. We open the tomb lid and we... it's a Brawn 8 challenge and we have Brawn of 7, so it's an auto win. Then we fight an Ancient Knight, which again should be an easy fight. I think I've just noted here I took a couple of lucky hits from him, but the combat wasn't even close, so just reduce that old timer to bone dust. Then moving on to entry 222 and our selection of options. We're going to take the Ancient Sword because we want bleed. We lose a point of brawn and we finally lose our pound ability, but we do have bleed, and remember that couples nicely with first cut because first cut does a point of health damage before combat begins, which means at the end of the first round of combat we already have bleed triggering, just in case we ever lost the first round of combat. Our opponent still gets bled. So our brawn now goes down to 5. So we are looking weaker at the moment, but we're making up for it in our abilities and our speed. So don't worry. Ragged Cloak, we can toss. Mage garbage. We hate mages at the moment, so forget it. Next stage, we want to go for the Footlocker, and we're going to get some gold. This is an easy fight against the tree roots. Cut through those, get through to the chest, then use the grime-coated key that we got from Curse of the Cornfields. And inside we get 20 gold crowns, which brings me to 61 gold. We also get a silver key in there, but there's no need to note that down because we are not going to be progressing the chest side quest at all. We then meet Paladin Valadin Roth. Yeah. We're going to be nice to him. Don't attack him. So we are basically allowing him to safeguard this mysterious book. So by doing that, we are rewarded with the Crusader's Vestments, which is a chest item, which gives us some much needed brawn and also gives us the heal ability, which is super nice. If you have the web-coated jerkin from the Down the Well quest, because you completed that challenge, I would keep that, because webbed is such a much better ability to have. So when we leave the church, as you can imagine, Fetch isn't going to be happy with that choice, because we chose to leave the book in the hands of the Crusader. So we have another fight with Fetch. which is a super easy one for us. Fetch must have been really having a bad day with stats like that if you experience his prowess in combat in the later books. We will barely break a sweat in this fight. Sorry, Fetch. Sorry, my man. Anyway, he vanishes afterwards, but he does drop a hint or two about the strange mark that we have on our arm. Anyway, God bless Fetch. I'm so sure we will see you again soon. So we leave that quest with 7 speed, which is our sweet spot for this act. We also get 6, so we're also at 6 brawn, 2 magic, 2 armor. Abilities wise, we have fearless, +2 speed, lightning, bleed, first cut, charm, piercing, and heal. Or you might have wept instead of heal. So what do we do next with all our amazing speed, gear, and abilities? Why? We go and kill another legendary monster, that's what. Basically, because we want a ring to replace the missing link ring that we have equipped. And this ring that we're after will give us another passive damage effect, Thorns. So we're going to go to 49 and we're going to battle Zalladrel. So he is a little bit scary on paper. So yeah, so he has quite a high magic score. So he does dish out a fair amount of damage. He also has a 1 passive damage effect per round. He also has a reroll on a 1 or 2. The thing that gives us the edge though in this combat is that we have a +2 speed boost and we have bleed as well, which is going to be ticking away at his health, and we inflict bleed, as I've already said, no matter what, because of first cut. So do not fear this guy, just go in, go fight, get to victory. So in my combat, he didn't win a single round. And the only damage I took was, the passive black sigil damage. So easy fight. Reward-wise, we take the Thorns ring. And I replaced the missing link ring. And so we are losing a precious point of brawn again. But we have Thorns, and you can think of that as that extra point of brawn hitting your opponent every turn. In fact, Thorns hits all opponents. It's super good. I know I've just put a note here that Forest Dew is a really good reward. I think it gives us it heals, doesn't it? It's like a +2 permanent, a heal through a combat. And it would be really good against the Noldor boss that is coming up. But I chose Thorns because I was thinking long term about our build as a whole, and Thorns just serves us better. So don't feel too bad. We are at 5 brawn now. That's pretty low, but we're doing 2 passive damage around thanks to bleed and Thorns. We also gained 20 gold from that quest, so I was at 81. Again, by all means, if you want to go back to Tythebury and gamble, you can do so. If you need to fill up on health pots, spend some of that. So now we're going to go into our red quest, which is Witch Hunt. And that is entry number 87. So this quest will help us finish off our Act 1 build before we track back to the blue quest that we have purposely skipped because we're going for the special achievement. So in this quest, don't attack the witch unless you're actually a witch finder in disguise and you've been fooling us all along. But if you're following along as a warrior, and I hope you are, then we will help her to escape, and then we return to the village. We discover a changeling there. Thankfully, we don't have the keyword Black Book because we left it with the Crusader. So we have a much easier fight with this adversary. And it's a super easy one for us, even considering that this is a red quest, because we have favoured speed. We have a really good selection of abilities. So in some ways, we're kind of over-leveled for this encounter. So, I mean, I had no problem with it. You should have no problem with it. Now, after defeating the changeling, we get some really nice selection, a really nice selection of rewards, but the one that we are going to be taking without a shadow of a doubt is Demon's Heart Talisman. It is pretty much the best in the game for quite a while. In fact, we don't actually swap it out of our build until we get the Berserker Talisman at the end of Act 2. It's such a great talisman because it has speed, but it also has a fantastic ability called Trickster, which allows us to swap an opponent's speed dice. Swap an opponent's speed dice for one of our own. So it's just super powerful for winning a combat round. So that ends that quest, and we have 7 speed, 5 brawn, 2 magic, 2 armor. Now we're going to go to the Stone Circle, which is the blue quest I was talking about, which is entry 25. This quest is, at this stage, completely and utterly pointless for us. We are super over-leveled for it. We don't really need any of the regular rewards from this. However, we are doing this because there is a super hard special achievement. And if we do the special achievement, then we do get a super awesome legendary weapon. So if you want that weapon, then stick around. But I should also add that, yeah, it is a really cool weapon, and it's great bragging rights to say that you got it. But to be fair, within a couple of quests in Act 2, we will be ditching it for something much better. So don't lose sleep over it. That's what I would say if you, either want to skip this or you just struggle with the end boss. Anyway, to be fair, going into this, I wasn't too optimistic that I was going to be able to do the special achievement. But looking at our stats, which are really good, and also backpack-wise, I had 2 +6 health pots. I had a +2 brawn potion. I've got Mercia's Brandy, which gives me +3 speed. So, I don't know, not bad backup. So in this quest, talk to the talking bird. In my opinion, there should have been an option to shoot it and cook it, in my opinion, but hey. Agree to help to find the bird's master, then focus your attention on the stones. There's 4 stones and 4 different challenges to attempt. Each challenge opponent gives us a rune to help us in the final boss fight. But to complete the special achievement, we have to defeat the boss without using any runes. So we really don't need the runes. That said, we have to follow the instructions as written. And I have to say, Michael, they're pretty vague. So, yeah, it basically says we have to examine all 4 stones. Now, I think my intention here was that you are only supposed to be able to you're only meant to examine each stone once. And if you'd been defeated in combat, you couldn't go back to that stone. But it doesn't say that whatsoever. I just thought I'd say, Anyway, to cut a long story short, it doesn't matter for us because we are so ridiculously over-leveled for this quest. Just examine all 4 stones, smash the opponents on the other side into oblivion, grab those runes. We don't need them, but just enjoy that moment. So, and take them in any order you want. So, yeah. So then we do have a really tough fight though. And that is the fight with Nolda, who is the Dark Age King. So this is special achievement time. We must defeat him by not using a single rune. We match him for speed, which solves that issue. He has no abilities to bring to the fight other than he has high health, he has decent speed. We have pretty much everything we need. He has a brawn of 5, so he does hit hard, and his armor negates a fair bit of incoming damage. So be prepared for the fact that this is going to be a pretty challenging fight. Use consumables if you want to. But yeah, just go for it, give it a go. Good luck. And then when you're back, I'll share my experience. Okay, so I did it on my first attempt. and I didn't really expect to, but this is how it went. So first cut straight away, inflicting bleed. Also, we have thorns, so we are doing -2 passive damage a round. In my combat, I used Fearless in round 1 to guarantee the win. In round 2, I had to use Trickster. And then I used Mercy as Brandy, so I finally used that to win another round. So according to my notes, I ended up, towards the end of the combat, I ended up drawing a few rounds, and I lost 4 rounds, taking damage in each of those. So he had me down to 4 health. But in the meantime, my lightning and passive damage took him from 16 health to 0. So I actually, you might not see this, but that's the combat as I recorded it. So I didn't use any consumable, any heal pots. But as I said, don't be afraid to use them. I totally forgot to use piercing. Great. But other than that, it was kind of okay for me. I was going to pop a +6 health potion at the end, but I chanced my luck because I thought, you know what, if I fail it, I'm just going to repeat the combat. And I didn't need to. I can't remember if I drew the last combat, but whatever happened, my passive damage triggered and killed him. It was actually not that bad. I think I built it up in my head. You should do it pretty easily, really. I can't see any issues with it. He doesn't have any horrible abilities. It's just kind of smashing through his health pool. Anyway, for all that effort and planning and everything, we finally get Nightbringer, which is our main hand weapon. It's +1 speed, +4 brawn. We lose bleed at the moment, which is a bit of a shame, but hey, I was challenged to do this special achievement. I think people will want to equip the Nightbringer because it does boost our brawn. So for now, we'll have to go without bleed. And we do get Might of Stone, which increases our armor for 1 round. It is okay. And we do have a legendary weapon and bragging rights. So then we advance to the end of this quest. We get 20 gold. I was up to 101 gold. And that's through no gambling. So we'll just proceed to the end boss. The skull icon at entry 97. Attack the troll. Obliterate the troll. Easy fight. And it only gains 1 health due to its regeneration ability, because our thorns negates the other health it would have been getting. Reward wise, definitely take the troll's blood and stick it in your backpack. Super powerful. We're more than likely going to be relying on that in Act 2. We also get 30 gold. Just a note, the troll's nose ring has changed in the patch notes. It's now 1 speed, 1 brawn, and not 2 brawn, and it has charm. But we are going to be definitely sticking with Mauler's Maw, and I think we keep Mauler's Maw pretty much until the end of Act 2. So anyway, we proceed, meet Avon Dale, hand over the letter, demolish the target dummy, obliterate it. Although, even though we can't use thorns, lightning, or piercing in that combat, it's an easy win for us. And at last, guys, we get the Path of the Warrior. So we increase our health by 15 to 45, which is super awesome. We are official warriors now. We are set up for Act 2. We are looking hot. We are ready to get some serious blood rage going. So definitely join me in the next part as we go into the Act 2 quests and pretty much demolish our way through them. So happy days. So, if you're enjoying this, please leave a like. Don't forget, if you're not already a subscriber, to hit the subscribe button, because you will get a notification when any of my content goes live. So anyway, I hope you're enjoying these guides. If you have any experiences to share, please leave a comment. Certainly if you're playing along and you have different experiences of fights, it'd be really cool to hear your experiences as you play through. So anyway, thank you for listening and happy adventuring, guys.